fantastic. God bless our technology. This is Stephen Wynn with Loving the Coronavirus program. This is the ninth day of this 20-day program over a 4-week period. Today is April 16th, and today we're going to be working with the air breath in terms of developing more our ability to function with the energies of creation. And we'll use the air breath to purify this virus that seems to be attacking our capacity to breathe as a world. And the other theme through this that I announced on the email newsletter or email update every day is that we're going to be looking at Big Pharma, the big pharmaceutical companies. And I guess we'll touch on the FDA. I mentioned it, but I didn't really write about that. So let's just, as always, we start with just finding what we don't like about the big pharmaceutical companies. In fact, how do we feel in general about the profit motive in the healthcare sector? How do you feel about that? Do you like that? Or is that something that's so, when you're sick, when you're close to dying, you have zero negotiating power. It's hardly like there's a free market there because one side has all the goods and can charge these extraordinary amounts, like the big pharmacy is charging vast amounts of money for certain drugs, and comparatively vast compared to what they sell the same drugs for overseas. I'm thinking about the hepatitis C drug that can cost, I think for a while they were charging $20,000 a shot over here, or something like that. And if you go over to Egypt, it was $800. I just read about that particular one. And they say, well, yeah, but we have to charge this much to pay for all the research. And it's true. There's always both sides. And now we're sitting in a situation where there are indeed some home remedies coming up for this virus, for pneumonia in particular. I just saw one yesterday about mincing onions, putting them in a thin cloth and putting it in a poultice over your chest and keeping it there for hours on end, and it worked phenomenally for one woman. But there's a lot of them out there. I'm sure you guys can find them. But that's a very traditional one for pneumonia. So anyway, what we really want is something that works. And verifiably works, can be proven that it works. At least I say that. I say we want it. Most of the world wants it that way. And how much will they charge for that? How much will they charge for that? In ancient India, and it's still true today, and in the Ayurvedic tradition, the Ayurvedic physicians would never charge for their time. It was always on a donation basis. They could charge for their herbs and their preparations. I remember going to see this very famous one called Trigunaji. There's a big, long line. A couple hundred people in line. He's so famous. Just no charge for his time. He'd do his pulse diagnosis, tell you what's going on. It's remarkably accurate. And then you'd buy the herbs, which are very reasonably priced. And you think, wow, somehow there has to be a change here. So just check inside yourself. What kind of lacking feeling is there? Lacking safety because of the coronavirus and we don't have a vaccine, we don't have an antidote? Well, is there any wanting love and approval? Sometimes it comes up as wanting love and approval from people who are afraid we'll get the virus and die before we get their love and approval. You just want to check to see what's there. wanting control. What's that lacking feeling where we don't have any control? This virus is bigger than all of us, bigger than the world, and has the capacity to just run freely throughout the world, causing mayhem and destruction. What do all those things feel like to you? And just remember those, because it gets really hard once we get into our hearts to feel anything but love. That's not a bad thing, but we still want to heal the deep energies, the deep core issues, that are the deep wounds within our heart, the wounds within our energetic system. So now that we're there, let's go ahead and begin our process of moving into our heart. So I invite you first to just notice what your state is internally, your weather inside, so to speak, how quiet, how free, how ecstatic, how blissful, how present. You look around your room, look out your windows. How are you reacting to the world today? And with that perspective, that baseline, let's just put our hands on our heart, one hand over the other on our chest, and just move into this extraordinary posture. This ancient, simple but powerful posture. It causes our energy from the heart to fold back onto the heart and heal the heart. And just check in and notice what sitting in this posture does for you as we awaken and enliven our hearts. Just a minute or two. What do you notice that's different from right before? And let your hands down. And let's start our basic heart rhythm meditation. It's a wonderful practice. It connects us to our heart through our heartbeat and our breath. I call it meditating with your heart instead of your mind. It comes out from the Desert Fathers and Desert Mothers. Brian and Susanna Baer did this research and found it all. It's very interesting. I teach it through a school called I Am Heart. So let's just begin by paying attention to our posture. We want to sit up straight as comfortably as we can, with our feet flat on the floor. Our posture matters more in energetic meditations than it does in mental meditations. Although it's important there also. So just play with your head, let it move back and forth until you sort of get this spot. Usually it means pulling your chin back and your head forward a little bit, where your head floats freely over your spine. It's almost like there's, someone pulling your head up from the crown of your head, a tuft of hair lifting up, and that freedom of movement is there. And in this posture, let's just start welcoming up our awareness of our breath. It's a time to just love our breath and notice where it is this morning. How free, how clear are our nostrils. Inhale longer than the exhale, perhaps. Exhale longer than the inhale. Or are they even? I mentioned yesterday the path of the saint, the path of the master, the path of the prophet. I think it works. I'll have to double check it, but if the inhale is longer than the exhale, that tends to indicate a person on the path of the saint. If the exhale is longer because you're pouring out mastery and energy into the earth, tends to be the path of the master. If the two are even, inhale, exhale are even, tends to be a person who's on the path of the prophet. And of course it changes every day, but just there's a general tendency in this direction. And we want to build on our strengths. Build on our strengths. One is not better than the other. And just notice your lungs. How full is the breath? How easy is it? So after a few minutes of just saying good morning to our lungs and our breath, let's begin this process of altering our breathing a little bit. We want to exhale fully by pulling our abdominal muscles all the way back toward the spine. And then slowly releasing and watching the inhale, full, complete inhale, in a stately, majestic pace of breathing. Full inhale, full exhale. And just notice your experience again after a minute or two of flushing the system with oxygen, with prana, with chi, with life force. And now let's move into the process of connecting the rhythm of our heartbeat with the rhythm of our breath. So continuing the full inhale and full exhale. Now we're going to allow it to go to the count of 8 heartbeats. 8 heartbeats exhale, 8 heartbeats inhale. Of course, by now, you know whatever number is right for you. 6, 10, 4, 12. Just inhale. Feel your pulse if you need to. Hold your breath to feel your heartbeat, or perhaps just count. It's okay. It'll come. And let's just do this silently for a few minutes. Just keep holding on to this breath, using the name of your heartbeat if you have one. And somehow, I keep thinking of the great sage Shankara, who started the Shankaracharya tradition. He wrote a book called The Crest Jewel of Discrimination. And I have not read it. It looks very mental to me by the title. But my son, who's read everything Shankara's written, says it's amazing how much Shankara relied on breathing techniques, on pranayama. This great sage that revitalized the Vedic tradition created the 4 Shankaracharya posts, some say 5, one in the middle of India. And breath work was his major tradition, his major practice. And discrimination, of course, obviously. But could we just be grateful for these ancient traditions that teach us this path that we make this steady progress on? How much progress would we make if we had to figure out every step on its own? Could we allow our hearts to swell in gratitude for all those many teachers, for most of us, who have taught us so much? So just take a moment and notice your experience of what happens when we move into this fundamental rhythm connecting the heartbeat to the breath. It creates the attunement of the third rhythm of the body, the cerebrospinal pulsing, pushing the energy up, the fluid up through the spine to the brain, washing the brain, bringing the toxins out down towards the body where they can be discharged, refreshing the fluid around the brain, and brings us in connection with the magnetic pulsing of the earth, the pulse of the earth body. For some reason, I keep getting the impulse to take us into the square breath this morning. We'll still do the air breath, but let's just do the square breath for a few minutes. And with the square breath, I'll just remind everyone, because I think we've only done it once or twice. Very powerful breath. So we inhale. I'm going to say to the count of 6 just to be safe. You can do 8 if you want. We inhale to the count of 6 beats. Then we exhale. Then we hold for twice that amount. Hold for 12 beats. Exhale for 6 beats. And then again, you just keep going in that cycle for a few times. I won't do it very long. I'll count in for one cycle so everyone gets the pattern down. But just continue on your own and use whatever count is right for you. So, full exhale, and then inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then inhale, 6, hold for 12. Like that. Let's just all do it on our own. So finish up whatever round you're on. And just notice what 2 or 3 minutes of this very powerful breath does. For those of you who do the traditional alternate nostril breathing from yoga, from your yoga practices, you can do the same pattern using alternate nostril breathing, just holding. Having that hold. So let's move into this air breath, this week of glorious exploration of our connection and our relationship to these elements, these 5 elements that I always love reminding people, just because my own experience of it was so deep and so alive. When I could just see the 4 chambers connected to the 4 elements and space to this cardiovascular periocardial sac. So the pattern for the air breath, each element has its own pattern. The earth breath is in through the nose, out through the nose. Water is in through the nose, out through the mouth. Fire was in through the mouth, out through the nose. And air is in through slightly opened lips, out through slightly opened lips. There's no nose breathing at all with the air element. So, let's just begin this practice of breathing in a steady manner to the 8 heartbeats, whatever your number is. Full, and just start with an exhale. Full exhale through your open lips, and then inhale to the heartbeat, but with the mouth open. With this breath, we want to make sure our feet are firmly on the floor. We want to be grounded. And we want the heartbeat there. It's easy in this breath to become spacey. And that's not what we're looking for. We want to stay fully in the body, fully grounded, and fully embracing this great energetic presence, this great power and creation that we call air. It's really just an energy, one of the fundamental energies. I don't know if physics has changed, but way back when I was in college, they spoke of 4 fundamental forces: weak, strong, electromagnetic, and gravity. I always wonder if those 4 connect to the 4 elements. I know there's great work in terms of the unification of all these powers together. It's probably in the ether element that it happens. So just keep inhale to the count of 8, 10, 6 heartbeats. Exhale, using your name for your heartbeat. And just notice your experience. For most of us, we bring in more air this way. There's no filtering of the air. Notice your experience right now. And one of the most effective ways to notice is by comparing and contrasting. How is this different from the flow of the water element? How is it different from the groundedness of the earth element, the power, the stability, the strength? How is it different from the almost sharpness of the fire element, the penetrating, piercing, lifting, joyful energy of the fire element? This air element has a motion that's sort of zigzaggy. So the air goes everywhere, this way and that, like gusts going here and there. And just take this air element and just, could you connect to the air of this planet? The air outside of you, the air inside of you. And just invite the presence of that being, we'll call the being of the air element for the planet, that impulse of nature. Could we just invite this divine impulse of intelligence, or this personification, in the Vedic tradition called Vayu, wind and breath, great forces? Could we invite, just on the level of intention, that this great being come to us? We who are established in our hearts, we who are established in the universal heart, could we welcome this vast impulse? And would it be okay with us if we aligned with this air element, this air impulse, principle, power? What would you speak to this being? May I suggest some gratitude for the air on this planet that we breathe so freely? What would you ask? Those that we love, there can be an asking. What would you ask this being, this quality, this element, in terms of the coronavirus, which is spread through the air, also through water? The way the air element purifies is it blows away. It just blows away, like any impurity is a tiny piece of dust, and just moves away. Would it be okay with us if, sitting in perfect alignment, to the degree that it's possible for us, with this extraordinary air element, would it be possible for us to ask for this coronavirus to be just realigned into its rightful place in creation? Just with with a slight shift of breath. Could we allow this coronavirus, could we allow ourselves to love it? Hold the highest wish for it, that it moves into its absolutely perfect place in creation. The air element has these divine qualities. The two that resonate the most with me are clarity and inspiration. We inspire means we take in, we breathe in. And it comes from this light, quick moving energy that can bring to us, to our minds, to our hearts, the great inspiration that allows us to see so clearly. Could you look at your own life? Where would a burst of clarity help you there? Very powerful intuition from this air breath. And a reminder, keep breathing, feet firmly on the floor, connected to the heartbeat, open lips, breathe in, breathe out. It's a gentle, very cooling breath. Could we allow ourselves to welcome all the big pharmaceutical companies, these big, huge multinational corporations, to come present themselves to us? And every time we exhale, can we fill them with clarity for their mission in life? Can we fill them with deep intuition that their research may be pristine and perfect, totally in line with natural law, completely effective? May we give them a blessing. How many times have we condemned big pharmacies? And just discriminate. Does condemning and blaming, hating them, bring out the best in them? I don't think so. Could we give big pharmacy some love and approval, riding on the air breath? Could we give to them the blessing of clarity, the blessing of inspiration? It's quick moving, this air breath, this air quality. Could we allow them to be as nimble and as flexible as a small company might be in their quest for these divinely inspired remedies? Check this. Remember back at the beginning of this meditation, we found what we didn't like about Big Pharma. Could we just go ahead, welcome up whatever that was, see it in the light of the air, the clarity, and recognize that is not serving us. It's not serving them. And could we just blow it away, blow it away? For some of you, this will work phenomenally for. For others, other elements may be more appropriate, more effective for you. That's okay. We build on our strengths, but we want to honor every part of our heart, every part of these elements. Could we give some more love and approval to Big Pharma? Could we love them enough to allow them to become great institutions with huge hearts? With huge, huge hearts. Finding cures out of love. Love for humanity. Love for their employees. I think if we look at most of the employees on an individual basis, we'd recognize they're not so different from you and I. They really do want to serve. They really do want things to work beautifully, perfectly. Could we hold the image of Big Pharmacy as profoundly spiritual, mission-driven organizations that allow for the development of the heart in America and the world? Could we thank them for what they've done? Could we let go of our judgment of the parts that they've done that we disapprove of? We all know what they are. We don't even need to mention them. Could we just let those go and honor the greatness that is there, so that that greatness becomes dominant? Not just thank them. I thank you all for joining me in this great blessing for these pharmaceutical companies. I did not see that coming. That just showed up in this meditation. So back to nose breathing now. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your feet. Ideally, your feet are energized, fully alive on the ground. Just open your eyes when you're ready. And just judge your internal experience. particularly in terms of some of these qualities of the air element? Is there less clarity? Is there more clarity? Does it feel like receiving intuition is less possible or more possible? The same with inspiration. Does it feel more available or less available? And any answer is okay. We're not trying to force an answer, just to notice. Notice. So I've opened up the Q&A session. So if anyone wishes to ask a question, share a gain, work on some energy that's not flowing smoothly for you, then please hit *6 to unmute yourself. And we have someone from area code 516 313.
Hi.
Hi. Who's this?
It's Alex.
Oh, hi, Alex. How are you? Oh, yes.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I always enjoy working.
Yeah, sure. You're our doctor from New York City, from the front lines.
Yeah.
We are always honored that you come, Alex. Really. We
okay.
know how busy you are. What's up today?
Yeah. I was just having the awareness today of a situation that happened and feeling abandoned. And I see it's the ego's interpretation, but I kind of wanted to work on it.
Okay. My goodness, I wonder if anyone else on the phone has abandonment issues.
Yeah. I've never really actually noticed this one, but I just, it just sort of, the interpretation surfaced up.
Good. So I want everyone and you here, Alex, to just take a look at your life. And where did you feel abandoned? Where did you feel left out? Maybe it goes all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood, picking teams, you're picked last or weren't picked first or this or that.
Yeah, I have a memory that I could attribute it to.
Yeah, so everyone go back to that memory. So Alex, when you look at that memory, what's your feeling about that memory? Is it positive or negative?
It's negative and sadness.
Negative and sadness. Good. So, how many years have you been holding on to that negative and sad energy?
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, probably decades, probably.
Yeah.
Think that it might be okay to shift that energy now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So, when you pull up a picture of this memory, or a feeling, or sense, or just however it works for you, what's your reaction? Is that where the sadness is, or is that a later energy that comes onto it?
It's just attached to it. It's like a general.
Yeah.
It's like a timeline thing. It's not just like one memory.
Yeah, of course. So, do you like that sadness?
I appreciate it, but I'd rather convert it to something else.
Gotcha. Okay, good. So could you just welcome up that sadness?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome up the sadness some more. And everyone else do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it okay with you if you just begin to appreciate that you have sadness?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, how rich of a life does Spock have? You know who Spock is from Star Trek?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much joy is there with Spock?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
much about him.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So he's this Vulcan who has no emotions.
Oh, he has no emotions. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't
So
Mhm.
how would that feel if you did not have the rich array of emotions that we have in our life right now? Is that
Right.
yeah, not so good, is it? It's when you look at it that way, it's very funny. So is it okay with you if you can appreciate that you have a wide array of emotional experiences?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it okay with you if you have joy and the opposite sometimes shows up of sadness?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see most of these things have opposites? You know, love might have hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we tend to, say, yes, give me the good ones, and no, I don't want the bad ones. And natural and understandable. But would it be okay with you if you lived with an underlying baseline of peace and could welcome up every emotion?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fine.
Good. So this abandonment, where you felt left out, can you welcome that up right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and would it be okay with you if that just dissolved or transformed into connection?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would it be okay with you if you became very adept at connecting with people?
Yes.
That's okay, isn't it? It'd be very satisfying, wouldn't it? Yeah, so could you welcome up this abandonment some more and allow it to shift into connection?
Yes.
Yeah. And how much more of that abandonment is there? Is it a deep well, or is it just pretty faint right now?
No, it feels. I mean, it's getting fainter, but it is a deep well.
Good.
In general.
Good. So could you dive deeply into that deep well of abandonment? Let it get really strong. Move into it. And just keep diving in. And at a certain point, can you see what's underneath all that abandonment?
As far as like a wanting, you mean?
No, it could be a wanting, or it could be beingness. It could be love. Just keep going through it and see what's there.
I think it's just wanting to be loved and, cared for.
Wanting to be loved and cared for. Good. So this deep wanting like this, and by the way, we're sort of built with this in us, this wanting love and approval. We all say, let's get rid of it, let's get rid of it, let's get rid of it, but it's also a very, we have to function some way in the world. Would it be okay with you if your heart always wanted love and approval, but it didn't run your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be okay.
It'd be okay, wouldn't it? Would it be okay with you if your heart became this fabulous center of just giving love and allowing love to come in? That's okay, isn't it?
That's something that, I think I have a problem with, like allowing love to come in.
Yes, I
you
know.
Just said it.
Yes. This is why, we don't want to shut down the heart by just getting rid of all that wanting love and approval. We want to receive as well as give.
Yeah.
We're actually built this way. These basic energies, and the truth is, we have to have some way of interacting with the world. And these are the energies that do it. these fundamental energies, and they're not a problem unless they're distorted and wounded. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah.
I know this is not quite what the release technique teaches, but
Right.
you know, you'd ask Larry Crane after releasing for 40 years, Larry, could you let go of wanting approval? He goes, yeah, I could. He still had it. You get that?
Yeah.
It didn't run him. It really did not run Larry. Okay? Larry Crane, for those who don't know, was the one who started the release technique. That and the Sedona method are the two schools that Lester Levinson more or less founded. They're very similar in their teachings. But you get that still there, and that's where the richness is. Okay?
Mhm.
And at a certain point, we go even deeper than that, and that's fine. That's where Lester would say, could you let go of this loving feeling and let it get even better?
Mhm.
Mhm. And what you find is you're loving at an even deeper level. The love is still there. So is it okay with you, this deep well of abandonment within you?
Mhm.
You've been left out here and there and all through your life. People break up with you, they don't love you, this and that, they divorce you. I don't know your whole life story, it doesn't matter. We all go through this.
Mhm.
Could you welcome up all this energy, pull it into your heart, and allow it to shift into connection?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you allow yourself to connect with everyone else in your life?
Mhm.
In this memory, can you allow yourself to connect deeply to everyone in that memory?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. Could you allow yourself to connect even more?
Yeah.
It may help to let go of disapproving of them first.
Yeah, that would be good.
Could you let go of disapproving of everyone who abandoned you in that memory?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really need that. That's the wound. That energy is the wound energy. Could you let go of disapproving of them some more?
Yeah.
And could you let go of disapproving of them some more?
Yeah.
And which would you rather do? Hold on to this disapproval or extend love and approval to them?
Well, feeling loving feels better, so I'd rather love them.
Okay, good. So would it be okay with you if you gave them some love and approval?
Yeah.
Yes. Very different tone there, by the way. Is it okay with you if you give them some more love and approval?
Yeah.
And more love and approval?
Yeah.
And even more love and approval?
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about them right now?
It's much lighter. It's a more peaceful memory.
Good. Would it be okay with you if you let go of all your disapproval of this memory?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any reason to hold on to it?
It's interesting. The ego is sort of, or whatever, like the thought comes in. It's like, well, protects me. It keeps them away from me.
Yes. Would it be okay with you if you welcomed up that thought and loved that thought?
Okay.
There's a part of you that wants to protect another part of you. Can you just love that you have that there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it okay with you if you extend love to everyone, and are still absolutely safe and secure?
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah.
That's okay, isn't it? So
Mm-hmm.
would it be okay with you if you recognize that your own safety is purely your own energy?
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying there?
Mhm.
It's your own energy. It's your own feeling. Would it be okay with you if you look at everyone in your memory with a sense of completely being safe?
Yeah.
Yes. And from this place of safety, would it be okay with you if you send everyone in that memory love and approval?
Yeah.
And would you prefer to keep them separate? Because when you hold back wanting to be safe, aren't you really abandoning them?
Yeah, because we're all one
Yeah, we're all
on that
one.
deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you look at where you've abandoned people? Where
I
you've cut
have.
your, you have. You've cut
Yeah.
yourself off and everyone else on the phone. Can you look for that? So would it be okay with you if you look at all the memories where or just one where you've abandoned someone else,
Yeah.
and could you let go of disapproving of yourself for having done that?
Oh, yes.
Yes. And could you let go some more of disapproving of yourself for having abandoned that person?
Yeah.
Yes. And could you just look inside yourself? Would you rather disapprove of yourself in your past, or would you rather love yourself in your past?
I'd rather love myself.
Yeah. So would it be okay with you if you set that up as a new pattern, where you love
Yeah.
everything good and bad about your past? You
Mhm.
could be at peace with it. Would that be okay?
That'd be great.
Yeah. And is that a less powerful place or more powerful place?
Much more powerful. Yeah.
Right. And do you need the memory of how you have abandoned people to keep you from abandoning people in the future?
No.
No, you don't. Do you need the negative charge on any of these energies?
No, I don't.
So could you just let them go?
Yeah.
Good. And let's go back to your memory of when you were abandoned.
Mhm.
And you see where you're sort of abandoning them equally as they're abandoning you. Would
Yeah.
it be
Yeah.
okay? Would it be okay with you if you just let go of all that abandoning energy and allowed
Mhm.
the energy of connection and love to appear, to rise up?
Yes.
Is it okay with you if you allow yourself to connect to all the people in that memory?
Yeah.
Now, there still sounds like a little
Mhm.
doubt in that yeah. Could you just do it again? Is there some fear they're going to hurt you?
Um, it feels much lighter, but can you repeat what you said
Yeah.
exactly so I can
Could
follow
you
through?
could you let go? Could you allow yourself to connect at a very deep level with everyone in that memory?
Mhm.
And could you allow that connection some more?
Yes.
And could you allow that connection some more?
Yeah.
Now, does it hurt to connect to them, or does it feel nice?
You know, I mean, it's kind of a deep memory, so there's, like, there's still a little hurt. It's not as big as it was, but there's
Good.
still.
Good. Can you welcome up that hurt? Can you welcome up that pain? And
Yeah.
just let that go. It's a deep pain.
Yeah.
It's okay to have that pain, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it comes up and it shifts, it goes. And does that pain want to be healed and be freed?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
wants
it does.
to leave.
Wants to leave. There you go. Would this be an okay time for that pain to leave?
Yeah.
And can you see how that pain controls your energy and your behavior?
Yeah, it totally does. If I
Yes.
could leave it at that.
Would it be okay with you if you let that go and allowed your heart and your beingness to control your behavior?
Yeah.
Yes. So how much pain is left there right now?
There's I mean, it's probably like a 4 if you were to scale it,
Good.
or like a resistance to it.
Good.
You know,
So 10 to 0, with 0 being totally free and joyful, you're at about a 4. Good.
Yeah, there's like a resistance a little bit.
Yeah. So could you just love that pain some more? Welcome it up.
Yeah.
Love it some more. It's an old friend. By that I mean it's an old habit for you to have it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is it okay if it takes a minute or so for it to untangle itself from the rest of your energetic body and freely move on? That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
So could you love it some more?
Yeah.
And on that scale of 10 down to 0, with 0 being completely free, where are you right now?
Like a 2.
It's a 2. Wow, that's very quick. Yeah. So could you just keep doing that? Keep loving that? Just being with it, allowing it the freedom to untangle at its own pace here. It's going very quickly.
Yeah.
All the millions and millions of energetic connections. And it's probably influencing all the other pain that you've felt from abandonment, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is it okay if it just all goes out right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 down to 0, with 0 being completely gone. Where is it right now?
I mean, in this moment, it feels like a 0.
Aha, that means you're afraid it's going to come back.
I mean, sometimes there are layers to things.
It's okay.
Like a 0.
No, it's okay.
It feels like a 0.
You know,
I don't feel it.
Would it be okay with you if sometimes there are not layers?
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, that's okay too, isn't it?
Yeah.
And can you just go inside and ask, are there any deeper layers of this pain?
Okay.
And what does your heart tell you?
It's funny. I saw like a little image of like a worm like poking up, like just tiny little worm. Like
Yes. So
like
could you
little.
welcome up that little worm? Welcome up that little worm, and just let it go. And just let it go some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let it go some more.
Yeah.
Could you just love that little worm?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just been a deep part of you all these years. For whatever reason, you needed it. Now we don't. Almost a sense of sadness about it leaving, perhaps. These deep old friends.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between abandonment here and blessing, isn't there? Where we bless someone and let them go to their own greater good.
Yeah.
Could you bless this energy and let it go on to its own greater good?
Yes.
Yes. And bless it some more and let it go on to its own greater good.
Yeah.
Yes. And how are you doing with that energy right now? Is it still there, or is it pretty much gone?
No, it feels pretty much gone. It feels like more of like an empty space. And I think what just came up behind it is like a little bit of fear, but it feels like an empty cupboard.
So good. Open up to that fear. We're just going down deeper here. And could you allow that fear to be there?
Yeah.
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 Could you allow it to be there even more?
Yeah.
And can you discriminate here for a second and realize there are really infinite levels of energy?
Yeah.
You know, and what happens is once we deal with all of our own fear, for example, our job becomes to deal with the big universal pools of fear.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the path of progress, the spiritual progress.
Okay.
Okay. We clean up our own stuff, and suddenly the country stuff is there, or the world stuff is there for us, or our city stuff is there for us, and we are. Could you allow yourself to be capable of working with it?
Yes.
It'd be okay, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to your picture of these people abandoning you. How do you feel about them right now?
You know, it's actually very neutral.
Good. And can you go a little further and realize that they're abandoning you out of their own pain?
Yeah.
You know, they would rather be loving you also, and they can't go there. You see that?
Right.
Okay. So could you just give them some love and approval? Could you give them the blessing to move on to their own greater good?
Yeah.
That this interaction between the two of you is complete. The lesson is full. Boy, it's full. It's a very full lesson here.
Yeah.
And they are free to move on to their own greater good. How does that feel to you?
Yeah. It feels much lighter, and it's a very deep memory that I've carried with me. So it's just so it's amazing. It's really transformed.
Alex, I think you've done some really deep work. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And everyone else, I trust you found some new ways of dealing with old abandonment issues. So star 6, if anyone wants to be on. It's also a very reasonable time to close the meeting. Okay. I think people came in. People came in. Okay, let's go to... Oh no, they did not. That's just people saying hello. All right. Those are not Q&A people. All right, everyone. I'm going to say goodbye and thanks so much. And I'm just honored to be with you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Oh, we're not quite unmuted.
Thank you.
There we go.
You.
All right, everybody.
Stephen.
God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.